Hello viewers, hope you all doing well. Welcome to another video of laptop repairs. Today we have in front of us an HP Pavilion X360, the model and series being 13S104NE. Sadly, this laptop has just survived a bad fall, and along with the fall, the impact on it has been pretty bad. Firstly, the screen is cracked and damaged at the right corner. Secondly, you will also find that the keyboard has issues, and the screen has two complaints to it. One, it being cracked, and the second one, its touch operations are affected. And like I told, second, the keyboard is also affected because of this fall. And thirdly, even the trackpad has issues. I believe it is because of the conflict coming from the touch issue on the laptop. So the customer has given it to me, also stating that the laptop is pretty much very slow and sluggish in its operations, and to have a look into it and do the necessary upgrades and repair work to bring it back to its original glory. So let us see what can be done on this laptop and how we can do our best to get it up and running in a better condition. Now, the crack I have mentioned, if I bring it closer, you can see that it's there on the right side of the screen. The crack started off here and then extends all the way up to the top of the screen. So, however, the operations or the internal LED has not been affected by this. It seems to be working pretty well, just that the touch is having an issue. Okay viewers, now as mentioned before, this laptop was very slow and sluggish in its operations. So what has been decided is that its old mechanical hard drive, which is present in the laptop, we are going to change it to a new and faster SSD drive, which will tremendously change the speed in operations of the laptop. Now, for this project, I have purchased a SSD hard disk, and you can see that it is from Dahuya brand. This brand basically is a brand that manufactures security cameras. So you can expect that when such a same brand is also into developing hard disks, you can expect a certain level of quality and stable performance from it. So you can also see that on the package it says the same thing, quality and stable performance from the same brand that creates cameras, security cameras. So we know that going on using this hard disk, the amount of issues or faults would be very slim. So let's proceed to change this mechanical hard disk and put in the new SSD purchased for this project. Okay viewers, now in this portion we are attempting to swap the mechanical hard drive that is already present in the laptop to the new SSD drive that we have purchased, so that the operational speed will change tremendously. For this procedure, what you have to do is, first you have to take off the hard disk connector, which is right here. To do that, there is a tab over here. All you have to do is to gently, using a small pry tool or a minus screwdriver, Phillips screwdriver, you can just lift that tab up gently. Be very gentle so as to not damage anything else. Lift gently, that's it. Lift the tab up and you can easily pull out this ribbon cable. There is an option given for you to easily pull it out, so just pick that tab and gently take it out from the connector. Now what remains is that thankfully there is no screws involved in holding the hard disk down. It is just neatly pushed down with the help of this rubber grip that you see. So all you have to do here is you have to take out the hard disk from the bay gently by giving minimal force. Just gently lift it up. So for that you will see some spacing. Just gently go into the spacing and try to push the laptop hard disk upwards. Again, the thing here is to be as gentle as possible. Don't apply too much force so as to not damage the hard disk. So once you just have it out, you can easily lift it out of its bay. So this is the old mechanical hard disk that we will be replacing with the new SSD hard disk that we have in hand. Okay, for that what we have to do is we have to initially remove the connector of the hard disk and use the same connector for the new hard disk. Plus you have to take out this rubber grip and put it to the new hard disk. So both are very easy tasks. It is not challenging in any way, but just make sure that you are a bit gentle. Always be gentle when you work around electronics, when you work around computers, especially laptops or handheld devices. Their parts are a bit delicate, so be as gentle as possible and don't apply force or don't be quick to do things. Take your time, work around, look, observe how it has to go about being done, and then go for it. So I'm taking out the connector gently over here. So you will see that it's just simply by just pulling it out, the connector comes off the hard disk. Alright, now what remains is this rubber grip that enables it to tightly sit inside the hard disk bay. So we will just take that gently off. All you have to do is just gently pull it across like this on all four sides. You will see that there are tabs for the screws, something like these tabs. So this grip will not go in any other fashion onto the hard disk. It will go only in one way or one direction. So there is no worry that if you take it off, you don't know how to put it back in. Anyways, when taking it off, if you can note how you have taken it off, you can apply the same thing when you put it onto the new hard disk. So I'll just keep this hard disk aside. Now taking the new SSD hard disk. The good thing about SSD hard disk is it's completely sealed and there is no mechanical parts in this hard disk. So even if you drop it or you're a bit careless, it's okay. So it will not cause much issues, but try to do things as carefully as possible. So we are putting it in the same fashion, the rubber grip onto the new hard disk, and ensure that the rubber plugs, the rubber grips plugs, screw plugs go into that screw holes so that it becomes tight and sits firmly around the hard disk. The intention of this is basically to keep the hard disk in position in the bay without it moving around much. So this was actually good for older drives because it is of a mechanical structure. So there is movement involved. But now this new SSD drives don't have any kind of mechanical movement within. They are basically just chip based, and so this rubber grip is just actually enabling this drive to sit tightly into the hard disk bay. It is not required to protect or keep the drive steady because there is no moving parts in this drive. It will remain steady. So just ensure that, like I told, the plugs for the rubber grip aligns with the screw holes so that once you put it in, it snugs around tightly and the hard disk sits firm inside the hard disk bay. So this is a very easy and simple procedure, nothing difficult about it. So just look at the connector, see how it goes in, and then plug it back into the drive's connection slot. Alright, so that's it. We have the drive ready to be put back into the bay. Now all you have to do is, before you push the hard disk down, it's always best to get this ribbon cable into the connector, and so that otherwise it's going to be very difficult for you to once the hard disk is inside the bay, to pull it and put it inside the connector. So first step would be to push it into the connector so that it sits there, and then there is this notch you can use to help you put it firmly inside the. So all you have to do is just push on that and it will go inside the connector. As you push this again, like I told, be as gentle as possible. Now the ribbon cable is inside the connector. Now just all you have to do is to close the tab. See, when you close the tab, there is a locking mechanism, so there is a sound involved. So as you close the tab, it clicks into place, so you know that it is correctly put in. Now I have correctly aligned it. Now all you have to do is just push. See, once it's correctly aligned, you can just push it into the hard disk bay without any issues. See, so it sits neatly inside the bay without any issues or giving any problems. So everything is done here, and that's how you swap the old mechanical hard disk to the new SSD hard disk. And I hope this video clearly gives you a demonstration of how to do this procedure. And if you have any doubts or queries with regard to the same, you can always get back to me on my channel's connect links, which are put in the description. And once we get all this closed up and set back, we will go about doing the installation of Windows 11 onto this laptop. So now all I have to do is to close up the laptop using the trackpad panel with the keyboard. I'll just close it in, and then we will proceed to install Windows onto this new drive. Okay viewers, coming back to installing Windows 11 on this laptop. Now you can see that or notice that I have put back the keyboard and trackpad panel. There were two connectors beneath this panel, one for connecting the keyboard and one for connecting the trackpad to the motherboard. So you have to initially connect both those ribbon cables into the motherboard, and then generally it is the same tab system, so there is nothing to worry about. You will have to insert the ribbon cable into the connector and close the tab for both of them. So it is not difficult at all. After that, you will have to push down the panel, and this is the step after that. Okay viewers, we have reached the last portion of this video, which is to install Windows 11 onto this laptop that we have finished work with. Now I am going to show two scenarios wherein one of them will be that I switch on the laptop without plugging in the pen drive that contains Windows 11. I have the pen drive right here. And the second one will be to plug in the pen drive and then switch on the laptop. In both these scenarios, let's see what the laptop has to say. Okay, so the first one I'm going to do is without the pen drive plugged in, that has the Windows media in it, or the Windows installation media in it. Let's see what happens and what is the message that the laptop conveys. So I have put on the laptop, and you will see that the laptop will display this message, which is very clearly that it cannot find a boot device and to install an operating system on your hard disk, which clearly there is also a hard disk error, which is 3F0. Now, from this we clearly understood one thing, that the laptop here has detected our new hard disk. But however, since the hard disk is fresh and has no operating system on it, it is saying that it cannot find any operating system anywhere. Actually, it just does not check on the hard disk alone. It checks everywhere. It checks on the hard disk. It checks on whether it's available on the USB. If you have an optical drive, it will check there also. But it couldn't find anywhere, somewhere it can boot into, an operating system it can boot into. So that's why it is giving this message. Now, the next scenario, now what we are going to do is we will switch off this laptop right now in this condition, and then we'll plug in the Windows Media installation pen drive, and then let's see what the laptop has to say. So the pen drive I'm going to install, plug into the laptop, has Windows 11 operating system installer in it. Okay, so let me just plug this in and switch on the laptop again. So as of now, I'm going to switch off the laptop and I will plug it in and then I will switch it on. So I'm switching off the laptop and I'm going to plug in I'm going to plug in the USB pen drive into the laptop, and now let's see what it has to say when I switch it on again. This is the second scenario. You'll see the laptop has turned on, but it will not give that error message that it cannot find the operating system, because we have an installation media on the USB. It will directly go into that installation media, and because it knows we are going to install Windows, and it will directly go into that and prepare the rest of the process for us to install the operating system that is available on that pen drive. See, now it is moving into the installation side, and now from here we continue to install Windows 11. So I guess all of you enjoyed this video today as much as I enjoyed creating it for you. If you like the content in this video, please don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and also make sure that you turn on the notifications bell so that you will always be updated when a new video is as soon as a new video is being released. So till we meet again in our next video, it is adios from my side. Thank you.